Hey, so I talked about last week maybe doing a trimming video, but there was just so little to look at with trimming these. I decided that that was kind of boring, and so maybe the decoration would be more interesting to watch. So I'm working with these printed sheets. They come from a company called ChineseClayArt.com, and it's underglaze that has been printed on really fine sheets of tissue paper, and it's sort of used as a monoprint kind of a technique. And so I've got some of these bugs here already cut out, and I'm just gonna apply them and do a little carving and slip addition onto it, just for you to kind of see. So I've got a spider here, and I'm going to get my sponge wet and then stick the spider on there. I'm not being too fussy about angle or getting everything just right. So one of the things I'm thinking about as I decorate these is that the cups themselves are sort of machined. You know, the wheel is machined, and anything that comes off the wheel is very symmetrical. It just tends to have a machine touched quality to it because it's actually coming off a machine. And of course, these printed objects are machine made as well. And so what I'm gonna wanna do is balance that out with a little sort of rough hand touched feel, because I really like my work to reflect that part of the process. So that's gonna start with the way that I'm placing these bugs. Some artists would want to be really precise and specific about how they were placed, and I just kind of want to stick them on there. Oh, there's the ant. I was missing one and I see it. This one gets 2 spiders, so it'll be extra lucky. Put the ant on there. Oh, that one's already been printed. I see. Oh, it's there. Bumblebee. I've got slip and things like that on the table, and so working with the porcelain, it shows every mark that I get on it from other materials. So I'm kind of wiping some of that back, but at the same time, that'll be part of that hand-touched feel that these will have. And so get this one kind of somewhere in between, rather than thinking about getting anything just so. A beetle, this one is. So those are going to stay on, and as the water dries out of the leather hard pots, it's going to pull the underglaze material onto the piece. It's like a temporary tattoo kind of a thing, except they'll stay nice and still and present through the firing, and I'll get these really nice little transferred bugs on there. So the next step has been just kind of some really rough carving, roughly carving out some boxes around the bugs. And I actually have a lot of different sheets of this, so it's not just bugs that I'm working with. I just finished one that's got a really big rabbit on it that it's pretty neat. It's going to be hard to see it until it's finished, but here's another one of the sheets with the rabbit on it. It's really large, so I had to put it on a pretty big cut, but I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be neat. Just rough boxes. I like double lining. I don't know why, I just like it. You can see how rough these lines are. I'm not taking any time to measure anything or fuss over symmetry or line depth or any of that kind of stuff. Having that uneven hand-touched mark, like I said, will be pretty interesting when the whole piece is hard and ceramic with its beautiful shiny glaze on and all of those kinds of things. This one is a little close here, so I'll just kind of make a double around 3 sides of it. So there's that. And so the next step that I've been doing is just to make some large empty squares or rectangles. In some of the spots where the bugs are not. Again, no pre-planning. I just sort of see a space, I want one, and I just add it. How much space around them kind of will determine a lot of the feel of the piece. There's a big one. And then I'm taking some slips, some colored slips, and I'm filling in these empty rectangles a little bit. So often in firing colors, color shifts quite a bit. But here, these are gonna be pretty close to what they are. A lot of times when you're working with commercial colors, they tend to stay true to whatever you're seeing in the container. Most of the colors that I work with, I mix myself. So there's quite a bit of change from what you see like on the pot when it's fired or before it's fired. And then through the kiln, you get a lot of different color change. But these bugs are they're pretty light blue. They're quite nice. This brown stuff is gonna turn out to be black. So I'm adding a little black slip into these rectangles. I may come back later when the slip hardens up a little bit and do a little texture carving through. I haven't decided yet if it's more interesting to just see the brush texture and the large rectangles of color, or if it'll be cooler to come back and sgraffito through that. This is another one of those sort of real direct, real hand touched. I'm not too concerned about staying in the lines or getting anything exactly perfect, just to kind of have it there on the cup. Yeah, cute enough. Let's take a look at one of these older ones and see if